I've sped up this portion because it's just me opening the box, removing all the packaging, and removing the chiller itself from the box. The next step will be to look at the current pump setup and take that apart so that I could hook the chiller up.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unhook the pump that came with the machine that I've been using for probably the last several months, I guess. And I'm going to replace it with the chiller. I've got the hoses already connected back here to the machine, so there really should be a simple process of inlet, outlet, and we're good to go. So I'll start by unplugging the pump right here. I've got the hoses in there and pull my sleeve so I don't get all wet. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take this this nozzle off here, and I'll pull the hose off of there. I'm going to just throw that down in there for now because I don't need it. I do want to try to drain some of the water out so I don't make myself too much of a mess. This is going to be probably a little bit of a task, but not too bad. And again, a little bit of water is not going to hurt anything. I'll stick that on the lid over there. You guys probably can't see that. Let's see here. Just try to get this worked out just a little bit. And I'll put that one outside there on the lid. And then what I got to do is I've actually got my cord zip tied here, so I'm going to go ahead and get some cutters. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I had down here my cord zip tied to my airline, and now I could just go ahead and pull this out of here and push it off to the side. Okay, so I've got the chiller moved out just a little bit so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. And then the back of the machine, there's an inlet and an outlet. The hoses that I had hooked to my pump are already attached. So the top one, the top hose is going to be the machine inlet. So I'm going to want to take that to the chiller outlet. So I'm just pull that little cap off there, and I'm just going to push this up on here. Now, ideally, you're going to want a hose clamp or a zip tie. I don't have hose clamps readily available, so I'll probably just use a zip tie, but these are nice metal connections, so I'm not too worried about breaking them here. On the back of the machine, I think they're actually plastic if I'm not mistaken, so you do got to be careful that you don't pull them too tight and break those. Hose clamps are better. So anyways, I do have the second hose here, which goes to the lower connection on the back of the machine. You can't see that, but I can, and that's going to go to the inlet. So the machine outlet is going to go to the laser outlet is going to go to the chiller inlet. The laser inlet is going to go to the chiller outlet. So I have that all there. Let's see, here's my cord. I'm going to plug it in here on the back side. I'm not going to plug it into the wall just yet, so I don't want it turning on. But we can see down here at the bottom is a drain plug. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's tight. I don't want my water pouring out of there. And I think that should be it for now. So I'm going to go ahead and get a funnel. I'm going to put some water in here. We'll watch the gauge right here. We want it to be probably to the normal level, maybe a little bit into the full, but probably not too much. We don't want to fill it up all the way. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed some zip ties while I was gone. So I'll just put those on here. Nothing special. Get it on there. Get it nice and tight. Do the other one. Again, nice and tight, not cranking down too much, but hand pressure. Cut those off, get them out of the way. I'll open the top, which is where I'm going to put the water in. And the opening's pretty big, so it's not too crazy. Maybe no need for a funnel, but I'm going to use one. I don't want to make a mess. So I think this takes 6 liters, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall exactly here, but anyways, we'll pour the water in, and we'll watch the water level go up. And okay, it looks like I'm just into the full here. Just a little bit over the normal. Just a little, probably a little over 1.5 gallons I put into it. So that should be good. I'm going to double check the capacity and make sure that makes sense. Just a sanity check here. Okay, so I double checked. This is actually 7 liters, which is 1.85 gallons. So like I said, I'm just a little over probably half here. I am in the full. I do expect it to go down a little bit once the water pumps through the tube and the hoses, so there is going to be some capacity taken up there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the funnel out and put that over there. I'll put the lid back on, or the cap rather, and I've got my hoses hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug this in. You don't want to turn this on without water in there because it's not going to be good for your pump. So please be sure you have water in before you turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pause you, I'm going to move this back into the position that I'm going to use it, and then we'll look at it from the front. Okay, so I've got the chiller in position here. Mostly I've left a little bit of room so that I can look at the water tank level. Once I get the pump on and the water flows into the hoses and into the tube, it's going to drop that level in the tank down slightly. So I want to be able to make sure that I'm still within the normal operating range. So the next step is going to be to go ahead and reset the chiller and then do the programming of it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so to reset the chiller, we need to hold the up arrow and the down arrow and then turn on the power switch. And what we'll see is an RE on the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and push both of those arrows. Make sure you get the right side of the arrow. Try to get my fingers out of the way. I'll turn it on. We get some beeping. Continue to hold. And now we see the RE. So the chiller is now reset. It's going to go back and it's going to show a temperature. And now we're ready to start programming. Okay, so now we need to enter a password to be able to do some changes in the settings. So I'm going to press the up arrow, the right side of the top one, and the set, which is the lower side, the left side of the lower one, and then I'm going to go ahead and get it until it shows a 0. So there's my 0. If I continue to press the up arrow, I'm going to go to 8, which is should be the default password. It does show it in the book here. Mine, it shows right here, it says the factory default is 8. And I'm going to go ahead and press set. And by doing so, I see F0 on the screen. So I'm going to want to change to F3. And I'm going to press set. And I want to go to 0 here, which changes the mode from intelligent to constant. I go ahead and press set there. That brings me back to the F3. And then I want to go to F9. I'll press set here. And see, that one is showing 20 for me. So I want to change that. F9 is the lowest allowed water temperature. So I want to go down to 15 here because I don't want my water temperature to go any lower than 15 degrees Celsius. So I get it to 15 and I'm going to go ahead and press set there. And then I'm going to change this to F0. And I'm going to press set to enter that. And this is going to be what I want my constant water temperature basically to be at. So I want this one to be at 18 because I want to stay around 18, but I don't want it to go any lower than 15, which is what we just changed here. So let's see here. So we're going to continue to hold that, get it down to 18. We'll press set there. And now it goes back to the F0. So if I press the RST button, it should save those settings, and now we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and double check for leaks on both my machine and my the chiller connections, and then I also want to check for air bubbles. If you have air bubbles, it might give you might end up with some issues with the machine not seeing water movement. So we'll have to work out air bubbles if so. And to do that, you kind of just want to in a way, massage the tubes, I guess is a good word. Kind of press them, squeeze them to try to push the air bubbles out. And once those are all out, you shouldn't have any issues. Do keep in mind that you probably should change your water periodically. Again, there was a drain on the backside. You might want to set it up on something, drain it into a bucket, however you need to do. But those are, that's basically the gist of setting up a chiller, getting it started and getting it going. It's actually pretty quiet. You don't hear this thing at all right at the moment. Now when it does kick on, it sounds like a refrigerator, which is doing its job. So it is a little louder there, but basically that's the gist of it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, share if you would. I appreciate everything. I hope you guys find this informative and helpful. As always, any questions, ask them in the comments. Don't forget to check out my website, www.OEADesignWorks.com/OMTech laser, which is going to put you to my laser position, or my laser page, which has all kinds of other information as far as setup instructions and talks about the recommended upgrades. So hope to see you around. Feel free to message me through the website or leave a comment down below. Thank you again.